Hello, everybody. And today is a special day where we get to have two very important guests on our show. Please put your hands together for Adam Smith and Karl Marx. So today on the hit talk show, Talking with Tiff, we're going to discuss the opinions that these two men have about the changes brought on by Industrial Revolution. Now, on my left, I have Karl Marx, and on my right, I have Adam Smith. Now, let's start off with the question, what is industrialization?
Yeah. I would have to say that industrialization is society's transition from manual labor to mechanized labor.
Great answer. Thank you. And how about you, Karl? What do you believe is industrialization?
I believe that industrialization is the introduction of technical advances and new-founded economic activity.
Fantastic answers, both of you. Now, let's move on to the next question. How and why did the industrialization happen? Also, when and where did it first start, and why?
Industrialization happened over the course of demand for more production and quantity instead of quality. Industrialization began in Britain in the late 1700s. It primarily began in Britain because Britain was going through an agricultural revolution where less farmers were needed in the fields.
Fascinating. And how about you, Mr. Marx? What's your opinion on the matter?
Industrialization happened because people wanted more goods. They also wanted goods faster and produced quicker. And like Adam said, industrialization began in Britain in the 1700s when less people we needed for the sole job of growing and maintaining crops every season.
Wow, I had no idea. Awesome ideas you two have. Now, how did the Industrial Revolution change society and people's lives?
The new market made workers lose respect for their employers and took away all uniqueness and personal identity in someone's work. I believe it mainly benefits the wealthy and drives the poor even closer to complete the utter poverty.
Well, that's just crazy talk. Let me tell you what really happened. Society was now shifting over from one lifelong job to many other opportunities. People rushed into the cities looking for other jobs, and this is when production will skyrocket, benefiting both factory workers and employers.
It seems like you have slightly, if not enormously different opinions on the matter at hand. Now, what benefits did industrialization bring?
Industrialization brought mass production, more advancements, more trade and travel, as well as wide range of choice. What can I say? Industrialization is awesome!
I actually agree. Industrialization made trade and travel much more practical, along with many other jobs besides just one specializing in agriculture.
It's nice to hear you two agree on something. What problems did industrialization create?
Problems industrialization created are factories driving small stores out of business, and it allows a small number of manufacturers to control the wealth, leading to an unequal distribution of wealth. As I always say, no society can surely be flourished and happy, of which by far the greater part of the numbers are poor and miserable.
What do you think, Adam?
Problems that industrialization created was the abuse of workers and the low wages.
Thank you for your honest opinion. Now, what solutions did you propose for these problems? What did you hope or expect would happen?
I find that the best solution would be to just get rid of the market economy altogether. I also believe that when industrialization changed society, certain people, as I began to think that capitalism created problems such as abuse of workers, such as long hours, short breaks, no rights, etc. As I always say, communism deprives no man of the ability to appropriate the fruits of his labor. The only thing it deprives him is the ability to enslave others by means of such appropriation.
Well, as interesting as that sounds, not to mention completely unrealistic, I have to say that the ultimate solution for the poor treatment of factory workers included reverting back to more individual-based businesses. The idea is that employers and employees should have a consumer and a product relationship that brings bartering and flexibility. Employers would have the ability to request only work for high wages, and employee individuality and care treatment would improve.
Those are both great ideas, yet they both head in completely different directions. I'm guessing that me and the viewers would like to know, was industrialization worth it, and did the benefits outweigh the problems?
The Industrial Revolution was worth it. I'm an advocate for a technique referred to as division of labor, and the Industrial Revolution developed it. It was also necessary in moving forward and creating large-scale production, which was needed for my capitalist ideas of private business.
Ha, yeah, right. The problems that followed the Industrial Revolution greatly outweighed any of its benefits. Seeing the society that the Industrial Revolution created, in which the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, inspired me to develop communism in an effort to separate from that. The problems with the Industrial Revolution caused me to strive for a more equal society, showing that the Industrial Revolution was not worth it.
Thank you for your opinions. I can see both sides of why or why not the Industrial Revolution was worth it. Now, what do you think of the world today, and how is it similar or different from your time?
The world today has not completely submitted to all my ideas regarding capitalism, but I'm proud with some of my ideas that the world maintains. The government isn't heavily involved in business, which I'm proud, but it still doesn't play a role.
The world today has not yet achieved my vision of equality. The government state does not control enough to run a system of complete equality economically or socially. Parts of the world have further adopted my ideals of communism, but many others practice a very democratic and people organization-based society. In all of this, however, minimum wage and regulation has made for better working conditions, which I appreciate.
It seems as both of you have very diverse ideas, both of which sound very effective in different ways, but both of your ideas have not been used to the full extent. I am glad to know people have adopted some of your ideas, but it seems as if many people are in the middle, you might say, or haven't quite fully adopted 100% capitalism or communism. Any thoughts on why this is?
Well, even though both of our ideas have great potential, I believe we will always be in the process of becoming 100% communist or capitalist.
Yeah, I agree. We'll always be striving to achieve our separate goals, but in reality, not all our ideas will always be put to work, as you might say, or used all the time. However, I'm still proud of my ideas regarding capitalism that have been put in effect.
Thank you. Those are very well thought out answers. I am very grateful to have both of you on my show. Now back to the questions at hand. Do any of the problems of industrialization still exist? If so, and even which ones, and why or why not?
Yes, in some areas, the poor treatment of workers is still very much apparent in life today. Factories in China who run sweatshops still advocate for poor treatment and wages for workers, which was and continued to be a problem regarding industrialization. There is also still a dramatic difference in the distribution of wealth around the world. The problems continuing to fester today are still apparent because of a lack of government involvement and control to regulate situations.
The issue remains that privately run businesses still produce poor working conditions and that employee individuality and ability are still limited. This is because large corporations that still exist that are consumed in consumerism, neglecting its employees.
Excellent answers, both of you. And now down for our final question. Did your hopes and predictions for the future come true? Why or why not?
My hopes and dreams for the future didn't particularly come true, but I'm not disappointed with the current state either. My hope is that all will be treated fairly and the employers will further recognize that employees as the product. The idea that the government is not heavily involved in business gives me a sense of fulfillment.
Well, my hopes and prediction did not come true. My hopes were, however, attempted and applied to society. To my disappointment, communism has had little success, and it is because of poor execution. I still dream of an equal society, equal by government standards, and successful in implementing a fair society.
Wow, this has been absolutely amazing having you two on the show. I am, for one, sure that the viewers have learned so much. See you next time on Talking with Tiff.
Bye!